left you knew what thus said the Lord was, and now you're gonna listen to something else. Yeah, because he started this thing. They were, when he came to Corinth, they wasn't in church.
No.
He had to go get them.
He sure did.
And then he goes off to start another church, and they had crazy to listen to something else. How you gonna listen to something else? Other than what thus said the Lord. Think about it. And then these people were talking about it all. You know, I didn't expect that out of you. What?
It hurt him.
Yeah.
Because he left them sound. He left them sound. Okay, let's dive in. Okay, so I'm in 2 Corinthians chapter 12, and we started in verse 1. Y'all ready? Okay. It says, 2 Corinthians chapter 21 says, it is not expedient for me, doubtless, to glory. Expedient means it's not advantageous for me to do that. It is not to my gain, okay? For me to doubtless to glory. It says, I will come to visions and revelations of the Lord. So it's just gonna do me any good to tell what I've done at this point. So now I'm gonna move on to the visions and the revelations of the Lord. Whether in the body I cannot tell, or whether out of the body I cannot tell, God knows. Such a one called up to the third heaven. Okay, so, verse 1 and 2, Paul saying, in chapter 11, he talked about the things he went through. Over here, he's talking about, starting this chapter about some of the revelations that he had. Because I said when I opened up that Jesus came to him in visions. He was literally taught by Jesus. And so he's going to talk about one of his encounters where he went to the third heaven. What y'all think? Open it up. Tell me what y'all studied, what y'all got.
I like the terminology, the third heaven.
Okay?
Because God obviously operates on a realm that's beyond our comprehension.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I think when he was telling the believers, when he said, show us a sign, because the fathers and Moses, they gave us bread from heaven, he said, that's not I'm the bread from heaven.
Yeah.
The bread they ate was manifested and God did it, but he's from the third heaven. He's from the realm that is beyond. The space shuttle can't touch where he at.
Right. Right.
And that's what we got. That's what we got to get ourselves in line. That's what God is trying to get us ready for.
And so, Paul here is letting them know something else about his, the reason why he is actually an apostle. Because he's seen vision, because he went to this third heaven. And keep in mind too that there is a real realm that humans can't see. This third heaven is a place that exists, but we just can't see it. God didn't intend for us to see it. And as we get into this, Paul's going to try to explain it, and he can't even explain it because God didn't give us words to explain it. So that's why we don't get much about what it is, because he didn't, and we wouldn't either, because God didn't give us the capability to explain it. It's so spectacular. That makes sense? So he gives them a little bit. He knows what he saw. He knows what he saw was supernatural, but he can't really give you no good description on what he saw, because he can't even articulate it, because he don't have the vocabulary. God didn't give us that. He can't even explain it, so.
And he was honest about it. I don't know. Either way, I don't know, but what I do know.
And keep in mind too, Paul starts the second verse he says he knows a man. So he's talking about this experience in third person, but it's really him. Yeah.
Okay.
It's his own experience. Okay? Okay, and then so in verse 3 it says, and I knew such a man, whether in the body or out of the body. And that's pretty cool too, because Paul didn't know, he experienced it and still didn't know, was I in the body, was I out of the body?
Yeah.
Right.
Was I there, was I here?
Yeah.
He don't know.
He honestly says that.
He does not
He said,
know.
I just don't know whether I was in my own body or
Exactly.
just
Exactly.
having a vision.
Exactly. He says, God knows, but I don't know. I could have been in the body, I could have been out of the body. But he knows he had an experience that wasn't the same as he is when he was here on earth like we all are. What y'all think?
And Jude, I was reading, something that said that the reason why he taught in the third person is because the people already thought he wasn't a super apostle because of these other people that came with these eloquent words and things of that nature. So he said it in the third person because usually if you talk in the third person, people are more apt to believe what you're saying
Exactly. That's good.
rather than you saying it yourself.
Okay.
So, you know, with them already thinking low of him, that's why he was using the third person.
That's good.
And another thought I had too is that he didn't want to say it was him because he wants you to know the experience, but he don't want you to associate himself. You know, sometimes when you tell people something supernatural, they put you on this pedestal. He didn't want them, and he says that in the verse down here, I'm getting ahead of myself, that he didn't want people to think of him of anything more than what they saw or what they heard.
Right.
What you see is what you get. So he didn't want them to, oh, he's a super saint, he done been to third. He didn't want that. Keep in mind that Paul had the intelligence, he had the wherewithal, God gave him the ability to realize that he had to stay humble. That he couldn't do all this boasting, and he couldn't do what God needed him to do if he was gonna choose to boast about all the things he's been through. So he didn't want to boast. He said that all the time. He said it in chapter 11, he said it over here. But he does need to explain to them some things because they are thinking less of him. They're hearing from some super saints and people who's calling themselves apostles and they're not. People who say they got letters from who knows where that they really are, and they're listening to that, and not just listening to them, they are down in Paul. And so he does have to defend himself. He doesn't want to, but he has to.
Yes, let me do.
Because the people are hearing, the fact that they're listening to the other people is enough. That you actually sit and giving somebody that much attention that's saying something against the word of God. Why would you, think about your own self. If somebody came to you with something that you know is not Bible, would you even give it the time of day?
That's good.
What's the point? Okay?
But I think of Paul as a very wise
Absolutely.
Yes, he is.
man.
Absolutely.
Not just like how you used that the other people were super saints.
Absolutely.
That's how I would say they were super saints, but Paul was a very wise
Yes, he was.
man. And I think life taught him that. That's why you can say unto your own life. After a while, learning when your mom used to tell you stories, about you think that you can't breathe it. She was wise knowing that. Now that I learned like to chew me up and spit me. Now that taught me. Now
You get it.
I'm able to apply that wisdom that she had. And I think situations like that Paul went through, it taught him to be wise, and it'll teach you to be humble.
Yes.
It'll teach you to be humble, circumstances in life. Because you think that you're doing something for a minute when it's being done. You will get in your and that's, I think it's human nature. It's a default setting that you have to think so. And then God had to humble you. That's why I say just remain humble so you ain't gotta be humble.
Absolutely.
Because it'll do that to you.
God.
That's true. That's all the word
That's
says.
good. And he good.
I like when you had said, because at first, when you think that your strength is in your weakness or something like how we're saying, but it seemed like it would be reversed.
It does.
Like, if you're strong, you think you can do something, but it's in your weakness, because your weakness causes you to be humble. And then when you're humble, and then that opens the door for God to use you. Because if you think you're strong on your own, it's like, God, I got this on.
Yeah.
And so, I like that. We were just saying how that strength, it encouraged believers to find strength in their weakness and to remain humble in the face of God's gifts. it serves as a reminder that God's grace sustains us
Absolutely.
even in our trials,
Absolutely.
and that our focus should be on serving others with love. And so it is in our weakness and when we humble ourselves before God.
Yes.
Because you can't be lifted up in yourself, thinking that you can do, because we can't do nothing without Christ.
Can't do
Nothing.
And
And
yeah,
so we have to rely on Him.
and when you don't rely on him, it's just the opposite. You can't get God's strength if you are not humble. If you think you're strong, then you can't get God's strength.
That's
So
right.
why would you choose your strength over God's?
Ain't that the
You
truth?
can't have both.
That's right.
One thing for sure, he's not gonna override you, he'll let you do what you want.
Absolutely.
And when
Absolutely.
we're not humble, we'll find ourselves getting in the way. How can God
Absolutely.
come within you if you got your own mind and you're like shutting them out? You're saying, God, I got this, I don't need you.
Absolutely.
He's not gonna force himself up. You got to humble yourself so you can receive God.
And you just said you can't
He
do
come
it,
in and suffer.
and you'll fail every time.
I don't think anybody says that. I think sometimes we act it out.
Absolutely.
I don't think we've had a nerve to say that.
But action's louder than words.
But I think sometimes we'll do it
Yeah.
and we would dare say,
Absolutely.
God,
Right.
I got this.
Absolutely.
No.
Absolutely.
But we'll act it out.
We will, even before you realize it sometimes. Yeah.
It's a funny thing that we always, I heard somebody say, God, I need you to help me in my marriage, help me in this and this, but when it come to my finances, God, I got this. And I said, I can't let this go, you said, yeah, this, and I
We
can't
may
do
not
this
open our
because
mouth and say it, but he's gonna read our heart. And he's gonna know, what's in your
Oh,
heart. So
absolutely.
when you open your mouth or not, God
God
already
knows,
sees it.
absolutely right. And you think about it, in life, there's gonna always be some trouble. It's just not possible for you to go through this. If there's a song that said, if I was in control, then I wouldn't have
Ooh,
went
that's a
through
great song,
anything,
yes,
you know?
Yeah.
But if you don't go through anything, you don't get strengthened. You don't know what God can do, you don't never have a problem, you don't know God can solve it. God loves us enough to give us problems because he knows they're good for us.
Yes.
He's a better father than a human father is. And so he loves us enough, and that's why I'm getting ahead of myself again. When Paul asked God to remove this thorn in his side 3 times, God said no. Because my grace is sufficient. In your weakness is where I'm strong.
Yeah.
We gotta get that.
Yeah.
Because it's a Baptist concept, somebody said earlier, but you gotta get that. In your weakness, God is strong. It's like did y'all have one of them seesaw things when you was a kid, when you went up and went down? It's like that. I mean like a
The
playground
seesaw.
thing.
Seesaw.
Yeah. It can't be both. It can't be, that's one thing that can't be balanced. It's this or it's this. You gotta be here, he here, or if you're gonna be here, he ain't gonna be. So it's you gotta get out of the way. God said that his strength is in our weakness. God said that. That my strength is in your weakness.
Yeah.
God said that. Let's get that. God said that. Okay? And we have to sometimes pray and ask God to humble. Lord help me, because sometimes we a mess, is all I'm saying. It takes God to even humble us. It takes God to do that. God did what he did for Paul. Paul did all the things he did because God did that for Paul. I keep saying Paul didn't even do all the things he did. God did all the things that Paul did.
It's true for everyone.
For all of us.
Yeah.
And he was able to do it because Paul kept himself humble. So God was able to use it because Paul stayed humble. That's why in the last chapter he kept saying he don't want to boast. He didn't want to boast. He did not want to boast. He knew the danger in boasting. But he had to defend himself because these people that he loved, he did it because he loved the Corinthians so much. He had to prove to them that what these people were saying to them was not true. He had rather not have boasted, but he needed to help the Corinthian people who were going the wrong way. Out of love he boasted. But he knew that he shouldn't have, and he didn't want to. And that's why he said if he boasts like he wanted to, he would boast in his weakness. Because Paul knew that weakness was the thing to be boasting about. That's the thing to boast about. The weakness. Because in the weakness comes God's strength. In the weakness comes God's strength, so that's what he wanted to boast about. Okay? Anybody else?
I just wanna say this, cause I remember, it's been a couple of years ago, but I used to refer to myself like in third person, like how Paul did. And a person corrected me in doing that, but it actually said in the commentary that it says, if we as believers pay attention to ourselves, we are two persons, your old man and your new man.
Yeah.
Oh, that's just awesome to me. And you can't be too, cause you people have, not mentally crazy, but people be having two personalities.
Well, you say all the time, it's Slim Shady way just hanging in the background, and he don't make for you say, hang in the background. Yeah, he come out.
The real Slim Shady, hanging in the background.
Be prepared. I ain't talking about mentally. I ain't talking about I'm just saying.
From the spiritual.
You got an old self,
Yeah.
you got a new self.
Yeah.
I mean, if you got a new self,
Yeah.
you got an old self.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Because one of them don't want you to read the Bible.
Yeah.
True.
Right.
Yeah.
He don't need to read the Bible.
You got a new one.
Don't pray, that's all that is. You don't need to fast.
Okay.
You should get
Okay, let me talk a little bit more about that third heaven, because I read something somewhere that explained the third heaven, and it talked about, the physical realm, that the clouds is one heaven. That it talked about airplanes can fly above the first heaven. Okay? And then there's the stars and the moon, the celestials, is the second heaven. Beyond that is where this third heaven is,
Right.
because man can't go physically beyond
Right.
the stars and moon. But that's where the third heaven is, and that's where Paul was caught up in a whole nother realm that exists right today that we can't see. It's a real place, but we can't see it. Just because we can't see it don't mean it exists. God did not intend for us to see it yet.
Exactly.
Not yet.
Right.
But there is a real place,
It is.
and it's called third heaven, above the stars and the moon. Okay? All right, I'm going on. I'm reading forward again. It says how that he was caught up in paradise, third heaven, paradise. It says, and heard unspeakable words. It says, which is not lawful for a man to utter. He heard stuff that man can't even utter. He was in a place, and he don't know, keep in mind, he don't know if he was anybody out about it. But he was there, and he had memory of it, and he said they were speaking, things that unlawful for man to speak. He was in a whole other area where he shouldn't have been, but God showed him that. Brought him there for him to see that. What y'all think?
It's good.
In other words, God was revealing secrets to him
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes, he was.
that he has not revealed to mankind as a whole. Okay?
Let me insert something there. Because a lot of times, that's why you have to be so careful when you say the Lord said. You gotta make sure it's God.
Yes.
Because sometimes we'll say that,
Absolutely.
and then we'll change the story. And God ain't changed his mind. And sometimes you can be moved by your emotion, and you feel like God did it. But you better make sure that it's God.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, because he when he said what he stand on.
That's it. That's true.
And so why is Paul telling them this story? What would you think Paul's purpose was for telling them? And did I see the word 14?
14 years.
It's in this, is it in this King James Version?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And why did he wait 14 years to tell this? Because, think about, in today's time, if God had caught somebody up in heaven, they sure wouldn't wait no 14 years. They would have been on CNN.
We had
Next day.
a website.
Absolutely. Paul waited 14 years to reveal. This happened to him 14 years ago.
Above 14.
And now he's telling it. What y'all think?
Wasn't the time.
That's right. Maybe it's the time he didn't tell it.
If he'd have told them, they wouldn't believe him anyway.
it looks like this challenge for him to have to prove his apostleship.
Yeah.
Is what is the
Is the motive.
behind the scenes, you said, in the background of this. And so he needed to bring something to the table that they had, yeah. Makes sense.
Cause that's, you know, that word, that's, the itchy ears,
Yeah.
because the people there were listening to, they needed something more than what they heard from these people.
Different.
Cause these, don't keep in mind, these people were telling them stuff that was not true, and in the whole process, they was down in Paul. And it was important to Paul that he didn't lose the believers at Corinth, he loved them dearly. And he did what he needed to do to, I guess, bring them back from the clutches of these false prophets. Cause we can't even call them super prophets, they were not even prophets, cause they were not even teaching thus said the Lord.
Yeah.
So let's not even call them super, apostles or any of that. That's what they were claiming to be, but they were not. And so Paul pulled out the big guns to bring them in. Okay? 14 years he held that. He had to get something good for this. Because they was leaning toward, they was listening to that.
Yeah.
It was getting in their head. They was, maybe that is right. And Paul had to bring them something, he had to use something, he had to get them back. Because he had a deep love for the believers in Corinth. And he loved them so much that he wanted to bring them back. And so he revealed this story this experience of his that he experienced 14 whole years ago. If that's what y'all need to hear, let me tell you this. Because that's what they wanted to hear, something splashy like that.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what it takes, because I gotta get you guys back, 'cause like I said earlier, he probably upset that you even listened. Why are you listening to that? I done taught you 18 months what thus said the Lord, and you got it, when I left you had it. And now you're listening to, you know? Okay?
And see, sometimes when you, as the old folks say, when the cat's away, the mice will play. So, you know, when you're away and you just sending letters, it's not the same as being right here with you.
Absolutely.
Just like some people say when they look at church or Bible study online, it's not the same.
No, it's not. It's not.
So, you know, so when the people left and then you got other people coming in telling you stuff, it's like, man, that sure sounds good. You know, because we as people, we can be gullible sometimes. You know, everything that glitters is not gold, but it sounds good. You know, and sometimes if it's too good to be true, it ain't true.
That's right.
So Paul was to that point where they had just about slid off the cracker, so he was trying to put them back on the cracker. You know,
We got that.
I heard that.
so he was trying to, you know, cement that in.
Absolutely.
You know, that, hey, y'all, that ain't what it is. Let me tell you what the real deal is.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, everybody else can imitate Coke, but Coke is the real thing. Ain't but one real thing, right? So he was trying to make sure that he was getting them back on track. Because he had them on track before he left.
That's right.
And now he's been gone, and now he's coming back trying to get them back on track.
See, sometimes I'm sorry, baby. Sometimes
okay.
holiness is mingled with a prosperity message.
It is.
And then people will they just keep talking about you're gonna prosper and stuff, but you got to know where the line is. in
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Because if you're not careful, you start seeking God